My God, daughter-in-law, did you really show up to your own father-in-law's funeral wearing that cheap dress? Ashley Harrington's voice sliced through the quiet of the chapel like a knife. It's embarrassing. You look like you're broke. Every head turned toward me. My simple black dress, chosen because it was understated and respectful, had apparently offended her deeply. What she didn't know was that this, cheap, dress cost me $80,000. Ashley, please, my son Ethan whispered, his voice tight. We're here for Dad. But Ashley had already spotted her audience. No, Ethan, someone has to say it. I work in high-end fashion. I know quality when I see it. And that, she pointed at my dress with pure contempt, is straight off the clearance rack. Your mom has zero class. Her friends Lauren and Madison nodded along, whispering to each other. The murmurs spread through the pews like wildfire. I sat quietly, hands folded, letting her words wash over me. Tears welled up in my eyes, but they weren't from grief, they were from rage. This woman had chosen my husband's funeral to humiliate me, completely unaware that I owned the luxury brand she worked for as a sales associate. Just look at her, Ashley went on, louder now. Poor Richard must be spinning in his grave seeing his widow couldn't even dress properly to say goodbye. How humiliating for the family. My daughter Grace reached over and squeezed my arm. Mom, don't listen to her. She's awful. But I needed Ashley to keep going. I needed her to dig her own grave deeper. When the service ended, I drove home in my old Toyota Camry, the car I kept to maintain my image as a modest widow. My real garage held a Bentley, a Mercedes, and a Porsche nobody knew about. Once inside my cozy apartment, I kicked off my $12,000 custom pumps, poured myself a glass of $5,000 vintage Bordeaux, and let the day settle. My phone buzzed, Grace, checking on me. I told her I was fine, that I was used to Ashley's comments. She promised to talk to Ethan. I told her not to bother. Later that night, I slipped into my hidden study behind the bookshelf. There were the real records, contracts for my 17 luxury boutiques, 3 textile factories, and bank accounts with more zeros than I could count. I pulled Ashley Harrington's employee file, 3 tardiness warnings, 2 customer complaints about attitude, notes about her superior air. Perfect. I called Janet, my HR director of 15 years. Janet, tomorrow I need you to pull everything on Ashley Harrington at the flagship store. Focus on customer treatment. Understood, Mrs. Thompson, she said softly. I'm so sorry about Mr. Thompson. The next week, Ashley bragged on social media about her charity at the funeral, offering to lend me clothes from her amazing connections. Meanwhile, I was in my executive office downtown, reviewing reports. My assistant Laura brought coffee and updates. Sales were strong, but there were issues at the flagship, mostly involving Ashley. Security footage showed her on her phone for hours, snapping photos with merchandise, treating certain customers like they didn't belong. Laura also confirmed Ashley had been spreading word of an upcoming promotion that didn't exist. Friday morning, I arrived at the boutique in a quiet Chanel suit and real pearls. Ashley was leaning on the counter, laughing on her phone, uniform wrinkled, ignoring a waiting customer. Girl, you won't believe it, I overheard. My mother-in-law showed up to the funeral looking like a total charity case. I basically saved the family from embarrassment. And when I get my promotion next week, Ethan and I are taking her shopping. Someone's gotta teach that old lady how to dress. The customer walked away. I stepped forward. Excuse me. Ashley turned, annoyed, then realized it was me. Oh, Evelyn, what are you doing here? Shopping, I said sweetly. Ethan gave me some money and said you could help me pick something decent. Her whole attitude flipped. She loved the idea of fixing me. Perfect. First, budget, how much did he give you? $500. She laughed out loud. 500. Honey, that barely buys earrings here. But let's see what we can do. She led me to the cheapest accessories, holding up a silk scarf from last season's collection, my own design. See this quality? This is real elegance, not whatever you usually wear. Just then, the store manager Diane approached. Ashley, Mrs. Thompson is waiting upstairs. Urgent meeting. Panic flashed across Ashley's face. I'm helping a client. I'll take care of the lady, Diane said smoothly. Ashley hurried upstairs, thinking her big boss wanted to discuss her promotion. I stayed downstairs, chatting quietly with a young sales associate named Sophia, who impressed me with her kindness and professionalism. 20 minutes later, Ashley came back down, confused. They said the boss had to leave suddenly. I smiled. Well, maybe we can keep looking. She steered me toward clearance items. These are more your speed, nothing too ambitious. Then Laura, my assistant, walked in. Ma'am, they're ready for you upstairs. Ashley frowned. Who are you? Mrs. Thompson's personal assistant. Ashley went pale. Wait, Evelyn is Mrs. Thompson. That's right, I said calmly. Founder and owner of this entire chain. The store went silent. Ashley gripped the counter like she might collapse. The $80,000 dress you called trash at the funeral. Mine. The $12,000 shoes you said looked like flea market finds. Also mine. Laura handed me the folder. I read the complaints aloud: ignored customers, judgmental treatment, phone misuse, lies about promotions. Ashley's tears started falling. I didn't know it was you. That's exactly the problem, I said. You only treat people well when you think they matter. You humiliated a grieving widow because you thought she was powerless. Security arrived. Ashley was escorted out with her belongings in a box, begging the whole way. I told the staff her behavior would become a training example: treat every customer with respect, because you never know who's standing in front of you. That afternoon, I showed Ethan everything: the empire, the reports, the recordings of Ashley mocking me in the store. He was devastated, apologized for not defending me, and filed for divorce within days. Grace learned the truth too and took it with grace, promising to use her share of the inheritance for children's education charities. 6 months later, Ethan started at the bottom as a sales associate in one of my stores. He told me about serving an older woman in simple clothes, how he gave her the full VIP experience, how she left smiling with a small purchase, thanking him for making her feel seen. Mom, he said, I finally get it. Dad would be proud. Even Ashley called months later, not asking for anything, just thanking me for the hardest, most necessary lesson of her life. The revenge was complete, but the real victory was watching my children choose kindness over entitlement, just like Richard and I always hoped. Thanks for listening to this story on the Whispers of Secrets. Did you enjoy it? Which part hit you the hardest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this story touched you, a super thanks helps me keep creating more. Check the screen for 2 more stories I think you'll love, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next whisper. With love and respect.